Where do I even start? So I joined as a graduate, and under a year I got promoted to an engineer.
My best memory is the fact that we are continually getting better, I would say.
Most of my friends, they just have colleagues, or they're just a number, and they feel that.
I think PDS like to employ within the company rather than get external people in, which I think is really good because there's always an opportunity to do more.
I think a willingness to learn is key. You've got to be prepared to learn things because there's so many different things that they could be exposed to and touch that they need to be ready to pick up new things that they've maybe not touched before and kind of figure them out. Obviously, training is always provided.
They also helped me with my education. They provided me funding for training and they paid for a course for me to finish one of my AT levels, which was great.
Personally, it's a privilege to work here. I think that's my opinion. And it offers a good future for any potential employee.
Yeah, we probably aim to try and do something not so work related at least once a quarter. And then just throw a few extra barbecues in here and there.
The people here are they're very lovely. Unlike the other places that I worked in where you'd always have an odd one out, but here I think everybody sort of respects other people.
So we have grown substantially in size of members and work, but there has clearly always been that family element to the business.
You are always learning something new every single day. So even though I've been here for 18 months already, I can confidently say I'm still learning, and I know there is so much more still there for me to learn.
I think if you're thinking about joining PDS, do it. As I say, I've never worked at anywhere that comes anywhere near PDS regards thinking about the employees and putting the employee first. The social aspect's phenomenal.
I'd say join.